Happy Friday, friends, and welcome to Eddie's Guitars at another acoustic guitar showcase. We are so thrilled to have my friend Hiroya Tsukamoto join us today.
Thanks for having me.
We sure appreciate having you here. Hiroya is, I'm just going to say it, he's one of my favorite fingerstyle players that I have the opportunity to listen to, and we are so lucky that he from time to time comes into our shop. He is a regular touring musician performing his original music. If you're not familiar with his music, I would urge you to go to his website, hiroyatsukamoto.com, and check out his music there as well as his tour schedule. He's all over the country. He's got a full summer tour coming up here, and we just so appreciate having you in the shop, and can't wait to hear you play some of these guitars for us. So we're going to jump right in. We've got a number of guitars off the wall to cover today, and we're starting off on a strong foot here. This is from our friends at Collings Guitars, and Hondro, this is a Collings OM1A Hill Country model. This is the brand new Hill Country series from Collings Guitars, and we will take a look at this beauty. We've got a beautiful torified Adirondack spruce top on this guitar. Really a beautiful, beautiful Adirondack top, and of course, stiff and loud. This definitely has a good amount of raw projection coming out of the face of this guitar, as most Collings guitars do. This one certainly does. The Hill Country series guitars have a fairly simple look to them, certainly a 18 inspired guitar here with tortoiseshell binding on the body of the guitar. This particular example has the vintage satin finish, which you can see has that nice kind of light sheen to it, really a nice look and tactile feel to that finish. And this example has a beautiful set of straight grain Honduran mahogany on the back and sides. Really a beautiful set of wood here. All the way up on the headstock, we will see a ebony veneer with no Collings logo to be seen, at least on the face of the headstock. Now they do stamp that familiar Collings logo into the back of that headstock, which is a really nice, very vintage inspired touch. We've got the nickel Waverly tuning machines that are kind of an antiqued nickel as well. Again, just tying in with that package beautifully, but otherwise an ebony fingerboard, ebony bridge, spruce bracing in a scalloped pre-war style under the hood of this guitar. And this has the full-size Hill Country neck on this particular example here, which is a nice full-size very, very soft V to C profile here on this neck, but a great feel, and just the fundamental qualities from the Adirondack and mahogany in this guitar is very impressive. And we're going to have Hiroya play this for us here. And tell us what tuning you have this guitar, if you would.
So I tuned this in Dead God.
Perfect.
D-A-D-G.
Perfect.
Very nice.
It's yeah, like I said, just those pure notes are just big and fat and warm,
Yes.
but no lack of sustain at all. Just really rings out nicely.
Yes,
And I could just a little bit that you dug in more with your right hand, that dynamic sure expanded.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Wow.
Very nice.
I have a question. So I'm a big fan of regular OM1, right?
Sure.
So what's the structurally difference between OM1 and Hill Country?
Sure. Very good question. So the OM1 and the Hill Country are separated. Primarily, the biggest differences are really in their bracing structure, in how they brace the top of the guitar. As I said, the braces in all of the Hill Country models are Sitka spruce in their material, and in that particular, as opposed to like Adirondack spruce, that particular Sitka they have found leans into that warmth that they're looking for, that fundamental warmth out of this top. They're doing a very small bridge plate on these guitars.
Oh, okay. Shorter.
Yes, and just a lighter build throughout. There's no tongue brace up here in the top of the guitar where there's usually a little bit more stiffness there. And then the neck structure of the guitar on the Hill Country models is different as well. It's not the structure, I should say, but more the neck profile. It's a little bit deeper neck profile to this guitar than you'll find on the standard Collings guitars. But they're deliberately voicing these to have that more kind of old vintage kind of vibe.
That's their target.
Exactly, where the standard Collings models, as we both I think really like as well, have that shimmery, crystalline, a little bit more brightness and top presence detail in the trebles. But just the warmth and roundness of this is nice, but they're both great flavors. It's just which one are you looking for in the moment kind of thing. Yeah, fun guitar. Anything else you wanted to play on that one at all?
Sure, I mean something good. So I play a little stronger. It's
good
yeah.
It's right there when you need it. Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
And folks, as always, don't neglect to say hello to Alejandro that's joining us behind the controls. You won't see him on video today as we simply ran out of cameras. So so trust that he's there. Say hello to Jandro, everyone.
What's up, guys? I'm invisible today. And we've got some of our regular fans in the chat. We got David Bateson from England,
Nice.
the Aficionado Lure Company, Jeff Jewett in the chat,
Jeff, great to have you here.
John Lord from Montana, Mark Tyson, Remo Sforza, saying, great to see you live again. Greetings from Berlin.
Awesome. Remo, appreciate you.
David Vandermolen from Grand Rapids.
Nice.
And, of course, Dave Aquistapache
Nice.
sending his
Dave, good to have you.
hellos. Jay Pelletier, hello from Quebec.
Nice. All over the place.
Awesome. Yeah, and the list goes on, but I won't name every place in the world right now. So
Awesome. Well, this you mentioned Mark earlier that had commented in the chat. This one's going to be going off to Mark real soon, but we wanted to show it in here because it is just such a stunning example of the Hill Country OM. I think it is the example of the Hill Country OM, if you ask me. But we will continue to move right on down the line here. And folks, if you haven't picked up on this already, I'm going to kind of show what these guitars are all about and what they're made out of and all that good stuff. Hiroya is going to do all the actual work here in playing these guitars for us today. So, folks, it is my pleasure to introduce a new to us guitar maker, Irvin Guitars out of Springfield, Missouri. And Wayne of Irvin Guitars, Wayne Irvin Johnson to be exact, was gracious enough, kind enough, generous enough to pay us a visit earlier this week. And he brought 3 guitars up to us that just blew me away. And I could not be more enthusiastic about getting Wayne's work under our roof here and be able to show his guitars off. This is just a wonderful little creation that I got to tell you, I've rapidly fallen in love with. This is Wayne's SB, or Signature Baby model. So you can see it's a rather petite size. We're dealing with a 24.9 relatively short scale length on this guitar, but you've got a small body with a 12 fret neck joint here, and I'll tell you, just the ergonomics of this guitar are an absolute joy to play. And now I like small, comfortable guitars. Oftentimes for the way I play and the music I kind of prefer to listen to, sometimes they get a little bit boxy sounding for the real luxurious big chords that I really want to ring out for a long time. And that boxiness usually doesn't, is not the most compatible sound with what I'm going for usually. So I've got to say, the sound coming out of this petite guitar is anything but boxy. It really has a big, robust sound. I'm not going to say it's going to compete with your bluegrass dreadnought in that particular scenario or context, but I have to say, I've just been blown away by the depth and tone of this guitar. Andra, if we could take a little close-up here, we are already there. We've got a beautiful master-grade Lutz Spruce top on this guitar. And this is sourced from Pacific Rim tonewoods, sonically graded, very, very high-end, exquisite tonewoods that Wayne has really developed a wonderful relationship with these folks over the years, and this is just a glorious example of a beautiful, beautiful Lutz Spruce top. I love the rather wide band koa rosette that he's done here with that nice powa shell going around either side there. Really a beautiful deep rosette there. I love the koa that he's done on the inside edge of that actual sound hole as well. And if you just look at the layout of where this bridge falls, it is beyond, folks, the widest point of that lower bout, a dramatically sunken in bridge on the face of that guitar, which I love the look of that, I've got to say. Aesthetically, I think it's awesome. And of course, you're getting well beyond that center point of the X brace in this case. So you're really getting a lot of movement in that gut of the guitar down there, giving a lot of kind of dynamic influence over the guitar there, which is really nice. The entire guitar is bound in a jet black, and I tell you, jet black ebony binding all the way around with some nice koa details on the face of the purfling of the guitar as well. And mentioning koa, you can see a downright gorgeous set of highly figured koa for the back and sides of this guitar. I love that bit of spalted sapwood right in the center there. Just a gorgeous touch. Love that koa heel cap that he's accomplished there as well. And you may have noticed that nice player-facing sound port on the upper bout of the guitar here. And you can see a 5-piece laminated neck on this guitar with that beautiful koa back strap on the back side of the headstock. Of course, Goto 510 tuning machines, keeping everything in check there. We've got the ebony veneer on the face of the headstock, and I've got to say, a very, very elegant Irvin logo up on the face of the headstock inlaid there. Really a just handsome and sophisticated look to this guitar. Otherwise, we've got ebony fingerboard and bridge on this guitar, and you can just feel how lightly built this guitar is. I'm going to hand this over to you, Hiroya, but really a fun guitar to play, and again, not a small sounding guitar, I don't think. I think especially for finger style stuff, it really just has a nice presence.
Right. Great. So should you want me to play? Or
Take it away.
before playing, I want to say, because I've been watching this live streaming years, right?
Yeah.
It's so funny to watch from
Different perspective.
Yes, and then you are the few people who can describe acoustic guitar so beautifully.
Oh, well, thank you.
So, I have lack of vocabulary, but I'm going to play.
I appreciate you. As I said, not small sounding at all.
No.
Beautiful sustain too.
Yes.
Really nice. So I'm curious from your perspective, what do you think of that short neck? Because that's a fairly, compact feel. Yeah.
Right. I mean, I've been playing playing OM long time, so the longer scale is comfortable for me.
Sure.
So I have to adjust a little bit, but yeah, I mean, it's not too hard to adjust.
Right.
I didn't have mistakes, so yeah, I like it.
It's almost a relaxed feel
Right.
across the strings. A nice kind of a supple tension, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's very responsive.
It is very, very, very articulate. Yeah, and Irvin guitars used to be based out of Washington State, and just a couple of years ago they moved to, as I said, Springfield, Missouri, not terribly far from us here in St. Louis. So we're lucky to have them kind of in our backyard, and we'll really be looking forward to having these guitars first off, but of course getting more guitars from Wayne in the future. So we are excited. You better believe it. We've got one more of his we're going to play in a little while,
Yeah,
so we'll get a little more sampling
Sure.
from the Irvin guitars. Very nice. Thank you.
Thank you.
Got some comments from chat.
Yeah.
Let's see. Most of them are just wow and nice.
I told you, people. I told you.
And from Remo, fantastic guitarist. Congratulations. From David, beautiful Hiroya. And I don't know if this is serious or not, but someone asked if you could play the good, the bad, and the ugly. But yeah, that's all for now. Continue,
Nice.
gentlemen.
Thanks, Andro. Folks, we are moving on to a most exquisite Huss and Dalton guitar, and I've got to say, the custom work that we've had the opportunity to do over the years with Huss and Dalton has been really rewarding for us, and this guitar is a pretty good example of kind of what I'm talking about, being able to really lean into kind of the limits of what they do there. This is the L13 Deluxe model. So 13 fret, kind of an L00 shaped guitar. This is a deep body variation. So sort of loosely a take on the Nick Lucas model, classic Nick Lucas model from Gibson guitars back in the 1930s. But certainly a elevated example of that with everything that we were able to do with Huss here. But we're looking at an all koa body on this guitar. Handra, let's take a gander here. Man, a beautifully figured and beautifully finished koa body on this guitar. I've got to say, they have really achieved a gorgeous, just light sunburst across this beautifully figured koa. And I love the rope purfling that they've done, not only around the top of the guitar, but they've doubled that up for the rosette on the guitar as well, giving you a nice, almost kind of southwestern sort of looking theme to this guitar. I love the fire stripe pickguard there as well, and you can see enough through it enough, excuse me, to see that beautiful figured wood grain just enough as well, which is a really nice touch for sure. Back and sides are an equally figured set of beautiful stained koa as well. We've got that matching rope back strip tying in with the rosette and top purfling on that guitar as well. Otherwise, the guitar is bound fully in koa all the way around the body, the fingerboard, and the headstock. And you can see some really beautiful grain on the Ziracote parts of this guitar. The Ziracote pyramid bridge, the Ziracote fingerboard on this guitar, as well as that beautiful Ziracote headstock. And you can also see those, they call them the 1927 inlay package. Very much so, once again, a Nick Lucas kind of fleur-de-lis inspired inlay package here, done completely in mother of pearl, giving it just a timeless super, super classic look to this guitar. Mahogany neck on this guitar. We've got the 3 on a plate Godot tuning machines as well. Just again, very, very vintage vibe to this. And again, that 13 fret deep body design. I've got to say, in the context of an all Koa body, the 13 fret and that deep body give it a little bit more flex, if you will, in the low end, in the bass department of this guitar. And we've got a 24.9 inch scale length on this. I'm sorry, 24 3/4 scale length on this guitar, with a 1 3/4 inch nut and the 2 5/16 spacing down here at that pyramid bridge. Adirondack spruce braces under the hood on this guitar. Beautifully, beautifully voiced all the way through. And I've got to say, just the kind of L-double-O shape, again, with that hardwood top, that's a combination I usually like quite a bit there. I'm going to hand that over to you.
Thank you.
That's a fun one there. This one also has, I forgot to mention, but it has the EVO gold frets, which the only reason I point that out really specifically is Jeskar, the company that makes that fret, is not making that fret anymore. So we were lucky to be able to get these on this guitar. Huss and Dalton still had some of the good stuff left, so we used it on this special guitar. Small thing, but it's a nice thing.
Oh, yes.
Now, you're not any stranger to Huss and Dalton.
Right, I personally own one.
And it's the FS model. Yeah.
It's very, very nice.
How did you come across that guitar?
I won the Winfield's competition.
Of course you
That was my
did.
prize.
Of course you did. And what year was that?
I have two.
Oh,
So one has an Engelmann spruce top.
yeah.
One has a Carpathian spruce top.
Oh, beautiful.
And back and sides are Indian rosewood.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
It-
2022 and 2024.
Beautiful. And do you prefer one over the other at this point in terms of the different tops?
Yeah, Engelmann spruce has a softer sound, I would say. But I like the European spruce too. Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. That's got quite a sound to it.
I have a question. So this is the old core, right?
Right.
Compared to like all mahogany guitars, like, so do you think mahogany in general has more mid-range focus sound, right?
Sure.
So you think core has a little more like, how can I say, diverse range?
This is getting specific. I realize. I hear more upper mid-range out of Koa,
Okay.
and I also hear more vibrance in the harmonics with Koa, usually compared to at least compared to the most common like Honduran straight grain mahogany.
Okay.
Usually has that dry tone that we kind of associate. This is, to me, brighter to my ear, and again, more presence of the array of overtones that comes out of Koa. Yeah. In fact, especially when you're referring to koa just on the back and sides. A lot of folks, and I don't disagree with this, a lot of folks speak about koa as though it's almost somewhat of a middle ground between the dryness of mahogany and the sort of zing of rosewood, which I would agree with. And I think when you apply that to the top, that you get a little bit of a more complex tone than like an all mahogany body, typically. Yeah. Both beautiful. Just again, what flavor do you need?
Right, that's right. Wow.
I love the way that they've done that finish on that koa, though. It really has accentuated the beauty of it. Very nice. Oh, thank you. Really nice and light too.
It is.
So we had a comment from Tomas Montano saying, Bourgeois may have something to say about those Ziracote appointments. There's some competition, maybe.
Speaking of Bourgeois.
And right before you get into that one, Keys Toft was curious if you guys could speak about what you feel is a more versatile instrument, a full-scale OM or a short-scale triple O.
I would be glad to touch on that. Do you want to go first?
No, you can go first.
Okay. My feeling, and I'm sorry, who was that asked?
That's Keys.
Keys. Let's not get locked out. I'm joking. I would argue that a full-scale OM guitar compared to a short-scale triple O guitar is a more versatile instrument. And the reason that I say that is it's my feeling that the longer string length, and I think maybe you might agree with me.
Yeah, I agree.
The longer string length, I feel, gives you the potential for a wider dynamic range. I also feel, this is getting into the subtlety of it, I realize, so don't hate me over this. I also feel like there's a greater potential for headroom with a longer string length. And I say that not because I'm a mathematician, I'm not. It's simply based on guitars that I've played over the years. Seem to have a little bit more drive, a little bit more eagerness to leap out of that sound hole with that full scale length in the context, at least of an OM guitar. Any thoughts yourself in a short scale or long scale OM?
I totally agree with what you're saying. And I would add that the body depth sometimes makes me feel a little differently. For example, this Huss and Dalton has a deeper body.
Sure.
So I feel like it has a little more potential for the low end.
Yes.
Like
Absolutely.
even though it's a third, this is short scale, right?
It is.
Right.
It is. Yeah, absolutely.
But I feel like more bottom end
Sure.
and deeper body helps, I think.
Absolutely. I would agree with that. Yeah. Well, and there maybe is your answer for the ultimate versatile guitar, a deep body, full scale OM.
Right.
And now we're talking. We're getting there, folks. Anything else there, Jandro?
Not at the moment.
Folks, we are going to move on to a most luscious, and I don't say that word often, but this is Bourgeois OMS 12. This is the Victorian series from Bourgeois guitars. And essentially the Victorian series essentially makes up kind of an aesthetics package. This can be applied to any shape or size guitar that Bourgeois makes. This can be applied to any tonewood combination that Bourgeois makes, but this is a pretty stellar tonewood combination in this example here. Jandro, if we could take a gander here, please. We've got a blue Sinker Bearclaw Sitka spruce top on this guitar, reclaimed from the float camps up in Alaska. This is just an absolutely stellar example of deeply Bearclaw figured Sitka spruce, reclaimed Sitka spruce, which is just absolutely phenomenal. Really just a beautiful specimen here. And I think that we'll hear the depth of tone that can be achieved from a top like this, as well as, of course, a builder like this as well. But man, just an incredible specimen. If only visually, that might be enough. But again, this is quite a top tonally. Part of the aesthetics package of the Victorian series, I'll try to get up close here, is that candy rope purfling around the top of the guitar there, and also around the sound hole, in fact, on the rosette of the guitar. We've got some wonderfully colorful, I'm going to use the word whimsical, because it really is just a fun theme across this guitar, giving it a splash of color, not in any way, shape, or form gaudy. In fact, something about it just screams traditional, even though it's got that kind of splash of color in it. The binding all around this guitar is done in a beautiful, rich Cocobolo binding, which we will see here shortly matches beautifully the gorgeous set of Cocobolo on the back and sides of this guitar. Very dramatic set here with that just hint of sapwood right down the center, but I love that high contrast between the very, very inky dark portions and those really brick red portions of this Cocobolo back set. We have also applied that candy rope back strip around the, right down the center of the back as well on this guitar. Just a perfect theme all the way through. All the way up on the headstock, we're going to see a beautiful Ziracote veneer on that slotted headstock, just a absolute thing of beauty. We've got 3 on a plate, brass Waverly tuning machines with snakewood buttons there. We also have a Ziracote fingerboard and Ziracote pyramid bridge on this guitar, so just really decked out from top to bottom. I've got to say, just again, the visual of how that Cocobolo binding plays with the Ziracote on the fingerboard is sure a luxurious touch, I've got to say. Really a nice looking thing. Under the hood on this guitar, fully scalloped Adirondack spruce braces, which are actually the age tone Adirondack spruce braces, all applied using animal protein glue. We're talking maximum resonance out of this guitar. The sustain is outstanding. We're going to hear everything this guitar can do here shortly, but man, just really a work of art itself. The scale length on this guitar is 25.5 inches. We've got the standard 1 3/4 inch nut and the 2 5/16 spacing down here at the bridge. But man, it's nice.
Very nice.
Wow, indeed. Yeah.
Very deep.
Yeah, it is. It is. It works really well in DADGAD. Really well. I always like, especially when the guitar is being tuned down at all, I don't care if it's just a step or further, but the clarity in the bass.
Right.
As soon as it starts getting muddy, that's when things get dangerous, but that clarity is so good.
Yes.
Very nice.
And Matt, can you comment on a question from David Vandermolen? What does sapwood add to the tone of a guitar?
Nothing, nor does it take anything away from the tone. And maybe I should be more specific in that I'm sure there are times when just the physicality of the color of the sapwood being different will give it a different density or even durability for that matter. And if this is going to be included on the back of a guitar, you better believe that whoever the builder is has made sure that this is not to any detriment to the, like I said, durability nor the tone of the guitar. So really just boils down to kind of the aesthetic quality of it. And what's interesting is, builders or even players alike, some builders really love the way sapwood looks. Some will not use it. They don't want any sapwood at all. And some players, customers are the same way. They love the dramatic contrast of it in some cases. And there's other folks that I don't want any sapwood on my guitar at all. So just personal preference, just like anything else. But makes it kind of
question. Do you think the zero-coated fingerboard makes a difference sonically? Or more like looks?
Perhaps a little bit.
It's hard to say.
I honestly think this makes a bigger difference, the zero cote and the bridge position, because it's certainly a different mass, it's a different density than ebony, which is the more typical standard. Right. In fact, the very first custom guitar that was ever made for me was from Bourgeois, and that was one of the things I was specific to ask for. The guitar was not really wild in its customization, but I did ask for a zero cote fingerboard and bridge in the spirit that the zero cote would be lighter than ebony and thus freer than ebony, less dampening. I don't know if my theory there paid off or not, but it was an amazing guitar, so I think here it's probably a little bit less of a difference compared to being in the center of the top, but
just connected directly here.
Right, exactly. And of course, sound comes off the entire guitar. It's not just coming out of the sound hole, obviously, but it's so hard to, anytime you have especially a specific guitar like this, to point to any one detail and say, I wonder what contribution that's making, because there's so many other things, but
combination of details.
Exactly, all the ingredients. Exactly. Yeah, awesome. That's a nice one there. Oh, thank you. I like that one. Andro, can I make a confession?
Go ahead.
I'm a little disappointed. No one has said anything about my shirt yet.
Hey, Matt, cool shirt. Where'd you get that shirt?
Thanks, dude. Folks, we are lucky enough to have just taken a delivery, a new delivery of brand new designed Eddie's Guitars apparel in the form of new t-shirts that are live now on our website. You ought to go take a look at them. We've got a few different designs on there, this being one of the new 4 designs that we have, kind of a psychedelic look, but we've got a few different kind of vibes on there. So if you want to sport something from Eddie's Guitars that's not a $30,000 guitar, go check out our t-shirts. But our buddy Kenny over at Possession Press put these together for us here locally in St. Louis. So we're super happy with the designs and the execution that he's done for us.
Yeah, and I designed them all, so I get half the credit.
Andro had nothing to do with these at all. He had no part of this. I'm joking. Folks, we are moving right on to our next Irvin guitar. Like I said, we've got a couple to look at today. This is the SP, or the Irvin signature Parlor guitar, and I've got to say, another one we're going to have fun with here, I think. This is really just almost, it certainly is at least the cousin, if not the brother or sister, to the signature Baby that we looked at earlier. A lot of the same kind of details in this particular build here, starting with the top. Hondro, let's take a gander there. A beautiful, again, master grade Lutz spruce top on this guitar. Really, again, just a beautiful example, once again, from our friends at Pacific Rim Tonewoods. Sonically graded Lutz spruce on this top. I've got to say, just the dynamic character and responsiveness from these tops are impressive, very impressive. Again, we've got that wide band Koa rosette with the Paua abalone shell kind of purfling each side of that rosette. Sorry for the blown out photos or video there, folks. Well, got a bright light in here, but body is fully bound in ebony, again with some nice Koa detailing around the purfling of the top of the guitar there. Nice touch. Back and sides are another just unbelievable set, and I've got to say a unique set of highly figured Koa. I just love the almost Pomelle kind of figure to the upper half of this guitar, and then a serious, almost borderline quilting to the lower bout of this guitar. Almost two distinctly different types of figure in one back set here. Just a tremendous piece of wood here. I would be really proud to have this in my guitar collection. I've got to say, just visually, it's amazing. But again, we've got that oval-shaped player facing sound hole carved into the upper bout of this guitar. All the way up on the headstock, we will see a perfectly black ebony veneer with that Irvin logo inlaid right into the top of the headstock. We'll see a matching Koa back strap on the rear side of the headstock with the Cosmo Black Goto 510 tuning machines. I love how he's applied those beautiful Keras buttons, those Bill Wise Keras custom Koa buttons to those 510s as well. Really a beautiful touch for this Koa back and side guitar. We've got that classic 5-piece laminated neck as well. And again, man, I'll tell you what, I just love the set of Koa on this guitar. I can talk about it all day long. But this is, again, a short scale guitar coming in at 24.9 inches in its scale length from nut to saddle. We have his standard 1 3/4 inch nut and standard 2 1/4 spacing down here at the bridge. This is a 12 fret guitar. This also has that beautiful Florentine cutaway, allowing you to get beyond the 12th fret there quite comfortably. And I'll tell you, that's quite a machine there, I've got to say. Really a nice sound.
That guitar. Is this similar to this one?
It's very similar. The woods are basically the same woods. The ergonomics, of course, are different. Scale length is the same between the two, but you can see where this guitar's bridge starts all the way down here.
Right.
You know, we're dealing with a smaller body, and the neck is really more dramatically forced down in this guitar compared to the Parlor there. Very nice. Very nice indeed. What's that piece called?
What Dreams May Come.
Beautiful. I love it.
I composed in Kansas last year.
Really?
About a small town in this area.
Very nice. Very nice.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Wow.
Awesome.
Matt, John Lord says when you pulled that off the wall, it looked like Orion at first glance.
You know, that I could see that. Yeah, that cutaway has some Ryan vibe to it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've got to say again, just in speaking with Wayne earlier this week when he brought these guitars to us, he's been around the block in terms of rubbing elbows with a lot of highly respected builders out there, and it's really neat. I'm not going to give away all of his stuff, but it's neat to being where I've been around a lot of acoustic guitars, and then seeing this and knowing his influences, a lot of the folks that have kind of helped him along the way, seeing that input into this guitar is not only really interesting, but it's a lot of fun just to be like, oh yeah, I kind of know where that detail was inspired from. And of course, so much of this is his. I don't want to say he took a bunch of ideas from other people and threw them together, but it's neat to see the influence in all of this stuff. But really fun. Yeah, and it's not too often, let me just say it this way, it's not too often that I personally would choose two guitars made out of the exact same woods from the same builder to put in the same stream, but hopefully that tells you how strongly I feel about this.
Yeah.
Very impressed.
Yeah.
But.
So one feedback. So as we mentioned, I've been playing longer scale OM,
Sure.
which is the most comfortable guitar to me personally. And so when I grabbed something new, every time, I developed my own kind of way to play the guitar. And sometimes I want to do my way, right? But, sometimes when I grab the guitar like this, it opens, it let me adjust my playing.
Yeah.
So it opens my, how can I say it, territory a little more.
Sure.
So usually I play like a little more, I dig more. But, I can soften.
Yeah, delicate.
So yeah, this.
I couldn't agree more. A lot of times and sometimes it's not even the voice of the guitar, it's just everything around the voice of the guitar. Sometimes even just the feel of the guitar will inspire something maybe that, like you said, is not the first thing that you might play on every guitar, but you're making me want more guitars.
That's why people collect guitars.
There you go. There's the justification you need. Thank you. That's awesome.
Dave said, big sound out of that Parlor. I couldn't agree more.
It surely is, yeah. It is. Speaking of big sound, folks, you might recognize this guitar as we did a bit of a hand delivery / unboxing / a little bit of initial playing on this guitar. What was that, a week ago or so now, Hondro?
I think it was last week.
These days are running together, but this is the grand session from our good friends Chris and Matt at Driftwood Guitars. If you're not familiar, you are familiar with Driftwood, let's face it. If somehow you're not, check out Driftwood Guitars on YouTube, check out driftwoodguitars.com at their website as well, but they've got quite an extensive YouTube channel, which is probably what they're aside from building amazing guitars, what they're next most known for, as they document so much of their build process in their YouTube videos. And it is absolutely a fascinating channel to subscribe to and just see what they come up with to show us, which is really cool. But this is their grand session model that they just finished a couple of weeks ago with some astounding tone woods. And Andrea, let's get a close up here if we could. We are dealing with a very, very, very old growth Sitka spruce top on this guitar here. And I've got to tell you, just before we get too far into this, I love the silhouette. Just the raw shape of this guitar is such a beautiful shape. And if you're a fan of OMs, I think the ergonomics of this will not upset you too much. It's really a comfortable feel. But a beautiful Sitka top to start this guitar out. We've got some beautiful shell work on the top. I'll try to give you a close-up there without blowing it out too much, but some beautiful abalone or Powa shell work all around the top of this guitar, as well as around that rosette there. And I love how they've bound the very inner edge of that rosette in a curly maple to match the curly maple binding all around the rest of the guitar. And if these sides are any hint whatsoever as to what we're in for, we've got just a staggering set of highly figured Pomelle Bubinga for the back and sides. And we don't see an overabundance of Bubinga guitars through our shop, but I will tell you, we need more guitars like this in our shop. Simple as that. This is just an incredible set, both visually and you better believe tonally. We've got some beautiful abalone shell going around that back as well, right inside that beautiful curly maple binding. Love the detail of the end graft here that Chris does on these guitars. We've got curly maple that is bound in that beautiful Powa shell, and he extends that just a little bit onto the back of the guitar down here, which is a really cool, unique touch. Just really like the aesthetics of that. Just a cool little wrap around there on the back of the guitar, tying in there. Otherwise, we've got a beautifully matching flamed maple heel cap here. Beautiful, just dimension to just the heel cap alone. All the way up on the face of the headstock, we will see another amazing little piece of Pomelle Bubinga there, as well as on the back of the headstock there. Otherwise, we've got a quarter sawn Spanish cedar neck on this guitar, just slightly lighter in weight compared to your typical Honduran mahogany. We've got those brass Waverly tuning machines with the snake wood buttons on there, really tying in beautifully with the Bubinga on the back and sides of this guitar. And I'll tell you, they have really voiced this thing to be a warm and cozy, sweet sounding machine. I've got to tell you, the Brazilian rosewood bridge is beautiful. The Macassar ebony fingerboard on this guitar is equally beautiful, along with those deluxe triple diamond inlays on the face of the fingerboard there. And again, just a really deluxe treatment in the whole presentation of this guitar, I've got to say. Really amazing creation. I just love the again, I'm going to use the words warm and cozy in the voice of that guitar. Is very inviting. Well, that's a perfect dadgad guitar.
That's right.
Perfect.
Yes.
Wow.
Wow.
Keeps on ringing.
Yes.
I promised you I wasn't going to put you on the spot. I lied. I am going to put you on the spot. Just listening to you play through these guitars today, I'm curious. What do you listen to? Are there specific artists, and they don't have to be, because I don't listen to just a lot of guitar players. A lot of people think, oh, you must listen to all the classic fingerstyle guys. I do, but also I don't.
Right. Yeah, same here.
What do you like to listen to, out of curiosity?
I'm open to any kinds, but I like jazz and lots of classical music. But I've been listening to lots of jazz pianist Keith Jarrett solo piano work.
Okay.
And yeah, that's my favorite.
Nice.
Yeah, so I can learn how he, arranges the volume, all the controls, tones, that kind of thing.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Some of my favorite musicians, such as yourself, are often inspired by, different instruments. Just to put it simply, you would think that guitar would be the most easy to kind of translate, but that's fascinating.
Thank you. One question.
Yeah.
So this is Bubinga, right?
You got it.
So you consider Bubinga, the sound of Bubinga, kind of like between mahogany and rosewood?
I would. I think it's a little bit more leaning, to my ear at least, to the mahogany sound. Okay. Yeah, because it's
more fundamental.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. And Chris of Driftwood Guitars, when he was building the guitar, he even mentioned, just in handling the raw wood before it's even in a guitar shape, just handling the raw wood. When you've handled enough wood, you kind of get a feel for the weight, the stiffness, the sound it makes when you kind of touch it. And he was saying this reminded him of like a really fine old mahogany. It just had that vibe to it as he was working with it.
I see. Okay.
Definitely has quite a dramatic appearance, but I won't argue with that at all. Really amazing set. But
And Jeff Jewett has a question about the body. I was curious if the grand session, what is that body style similar to?
Think grand auditorium would be the closest. I think, Jeff. Good question. Nobody asked this. I'm going to simply throw it out there. And Jeff came to mind. The sides of this guitar, and I didn't mention this to you, I don't think, Hiroya, the sides of this guitar are actually laminated.
Okay.
And when people hear the word laminated in the context, especially of an acoustic guitar, a lot of times a lot of red flags go up because they think, oh, aren't cheap, beginner guitars the ones that are laminated? What they do here, and what quite a few other builders do as well, I just want to throw this out there. These laminated sides, what they do is they take a full thickness piece of this Bubinga. So this is not like a piece of paper that looks like Bubinga. This is a full thickness side that could make a guitar just with the Bubinga, but then he takes another piece of wood and laminates it to the inner side of the Bubinga here. In fact, if you even look inside the guitar, it's not Bubinga that you're looking at on the sides. So you can see that's how they do it. That's two full thickness sides that they put together. So again, this is not super thin variations of wood that they're gluing together like plywood or something. It's not that. What that does is it literally forces the energy, the vibration of the guitar to go to the top and to the back. Yeah, exactly. To get the full
projection.
Exactly. So it doesn't seem like more and more what I would associate with contemporary builders have been utilizing this build technique. And I think the results speak for themselves, if you ask me. It's a sense of durability. Sometimes it can add a little bit of weight to the guitar because it's like you're adding an extra side, to it. But, again, the physics of how it works is rather fascinating. I think
It makes the instrument stronger too, structure-wise.
It does, absolutely.
Having the two double sides.
Absolutely. And even some woods, again, this is getting into the weeds a little bit of it, but some woods that are highly figured, I'm not necessarily saying this is one of them, but let's just say, for example, the tree mahogany that is highly figured, builders will oftentimes double laminate the tree because it's so easy to crack those sides when you're bending them into dramatic curves like this. It's so easy to crack that, and you don't want to crack that precious wood, and then it's ruined. You don't want to do that. So sometimes they'll laminate sides just to be able to utilize that amazing wood, but that's real figured like that. But pretty fascinating stuff.
It is. Wow.
Awesome.
Thank you.
That's a beauty. That's a beauty. Hondro, what are your thoughts? What are you taking home?
I'm thinking I'm going to need a bigger car to fit all these in.
Yes, I agree.
If I had to pick, I don't know. That's a tough one today.
I like them all.
Yeah.
Was there anything that spoke to you specifically?
I mean, it's hard to choose, but I'm a touring musician, right? And playing shows is my main thing.
Sure.
So, and for that reason, I would choose the Collings.
Yeah.
It's very reliable instrument.
Yes.
It's very solid, and
Yep.
it's just.
That's a workhorse
Yeah,
guitar. You
yeah.
see a lot of folks tour with Collings guitars
Right.
for that reason.
Right.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I won't argue with you there. I won't argue with that logic at all. Hondro, I need an answer from you.
I'm going to go with the Driftwood today.
Dang. I was going to.
We have to fight over it.
Man, I got to tell you, no joke, like I'm not just trying to please everybody. This would be very hard for me. There's something in that Bourgeois, I've got to say, is speaking to me, but I've got to say, both of these Irvin guitars, I know they're the new thing for us. I'm not neglecting that, but I am really happy with both of those. So happy with both of those. But and of course the Huss and the Collings too. Yeah, I mean, how can you go wrong? But are folks from chat connecting with anything specifically, may I ask?
Yes. Tomas on the Collings Hill Country.
Nice.
David Vandermolen agreement on the Collings.
Uh-oh. We've got a trend.
Jay is on... I mentioned I thought they'd be seeing the Zero-Cote and Ancient Cypress Bourgeois guitar today, but that actually
Soon
will
enough.
have a full performance from Hiroya that we recorded earlier today that we
Indeed.
will
Soon
be putting
enough.
out shortly. So you'll actually get even a little bit better format there to listen to that one too. So
Certainly.
and we got David on the Collings Hill Country, but if he can get a second mortgage, he would take the Driftwood also.
Sounds about right.
Aficionado Lure Company mentioned that Chris of Driftwood Guitars said that this was one of the lightest guitars he's ever built.
Yeah, he mentioned the exact same thing to me.
We got John between the Collings and the Driftwood today, but they were all great, especially in Hiroya's hands.
Thank you.
Agreed. Agreed.
Jay Pelletier mentioned that the Petite guitar today stole the show.
I might agree with that.
Mark says the Collings seems plain Jane compared to the others in this fine collection, but they are very happy with the choice.
Yep.
Daniel on the Bourgeois, and then Remo on the Irvin Parlor.
Nice. Very nice. That's a nice spread.
Yeah.
Well, folks, boy, we sure appreciate it. I just want to mention, I know that this is for our live crew here that I'm speaking to, maybe a small audience, but Hiroya is actually going to be performing tonight, right around the corner from our shop at the Focal Point.
It's a great venue.
It is the venue as far as I'm concerned, as far as being a listening venue, not just a go party kind of venue. But it's it's a great listening room, intimate space there. Like I said, I know this might be casting a small net here for St. Louis folks, but if you're in the area, go to the Focal Point tonight, 8 o'clock is right. You will not be disappointed. I was able to catch his performance when he was here last year, and I was trying to decide, do I need to sell all my guitars now? We might be done, but folks, please, everyone, say thank you to Hiroya. We so appreciate being able to have not only his perspective, again, as a touring professional musician, but really being able to hear him play through some of these wonderful instruments here has been just such an honor. So we sure appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you for letting me play those.
Oh, you're welcome here anytime.
Thank you.
You're welcome anytime.
It's a dangerous place.
You better believe it. Andro, anything else?
Just a couple of last comments.
Yeah.
Aficionado Lure Company mentioned the 13 fret deep body was the most interesting.
Yeah, very, it is. Yeah, it's a really interesting guitar.
David with a thank you to Hiroya for a phenomenal demonstration, as well as Jay Pelletier. Really a joy for the ears.
Indeed.
Fun stuff, y'all. From Tomas, thanks for all your hard work putting on this live show. Mateo and Honduran, always such a joy.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Hiroya rocks. Very nice to meet you, Hiroya. We'll be listening to you more often. Merci beaucoup. Thanks, guys. See you next time. Just, showering you guys with praise, man. Good job.
Appreciate that, everyone. Big time. Big time. Again, thank you. We sure appreciate it. Please come see us next time you're through our area. We would sure appreciate it. Folks, thank you for joining us. Whether you're joining us live Friday afternoon here or able to catch us after the fact, we sure appreciate it either way. Keep tuning in. Check out Hiroya's website, hiroyatsukamoto.com. He's got music on there. He's got his tour schedule on there. If he is coming to your neck of the woods, go see him. I tell you, go see him. You will not be disappointed. And thanks again, folks. We sure appreciate you. We'll see you next time.